Hello everyone, I just wanted to pop on here and say hello first of all, and to give a quick update as to what's going on in my life. Not that that's interesting to anybody, but for those who have been asking, I thought I'd make a quick video. So I am in northern Michigan, and I'm pretty sure this is where I'm going to be settling for a while, at least for a while, and make it my home. But after the, let me back up. After the cruises that I did, I was supposed to do 3, and after the second one, my son, who was in rehab, who has gone through rehab, had a relapse. And so I felt led to come up here, or go to Illinois, I should say, and help him get settled and figure out, get him back on track. And he's got himself back on track, and so he is now training for a new job. The other one was a bit stressful, especially right out of rehab. So he's doing really well at this point and very excited about his new career. And in the meantime, I was staying with my daughter-in-law and my grandkids and got to spend a lot of time with them. So that was great. And I took them to Michigan City, Indiana. I kept hearing Michigan, and I thought for sure it was Michigan, the state. But one thing led to another, and Michigan City came into my periphery, and I took my grandkids there. We had a lovely few days there. For their first time on a beach, and they had so much fun. It was so much fun to watch them and spend that time with them. But on the beach there, I felt home, and I kind of thought maybe that's where I was going to end up. And then as the time went on and I was in prayer and meditation, I knew it wasn't Michigan City. One of the factors, it's a lovely city. One of the factors though is the crime rate. And if I were not a single woman, I probably wouldn't worry about it too much. But being single, I felt like it just wasn't the place. There were some other factors as well, not just the crime rate. Like I said, it's a lovely city, but just knew it wasn't home. And so then I finished out my visit there and went to Colorado to get my dog, who I hadn't seen in 8 weeks. I was so happy to get her back. And I think that she and my parents really formed a really nice bond, and I felt so bad taking her. And my dad did a few days later texted how much he missed her, and I'm sure she missed them too. But anyway, and so got Bonnie in the car and took a leisurely trip up into Wyoming. And if you haven't seen the Grand Tetons, some of the prettiest country on the planet. And then I went into Missouri and spent a couple of days just taking my time and enjoying the last bit of traveling like this. It's been such a blessing to travel this way, and I loved every minute of it. I loved every part of it. I loved sleeping in my car, believe it or not. I loved the adventure. I loved the time with God and with the people He put in front of me. But I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to be in my own place. I'm tired of driving, and I love driving, so don't get me wrong. It's not that I'm not grateful, because I am. It's just I'm ready to have my space, my own space again. So anyway, as I came up the coast, I came all the way up the coast of Lake Michigan on the west side. Well, I guess that's the only side, but the west side of Michigan, and stopped in little towns here and there, and just enjoyed sunsets on the beach and the beaches. And FYI, there are not very many beaches that allow dogs in the southern part of Michigan. There are beautiful beaches there, and they charge a fee now. So I don't know if they always have, but the beaches here where I am, there's no fee. I'm not saying that there won't be at some point, because there may be, but you can still bring your dog and there's no charge. But I know that they have reduced rates if you're a Michigander, so there's that. But it just seemed, a little counterproductive. But I understand it. They have to keep the toilets running, and they have to keep the beaches clean, and that costs money. So anyway, just want to let people know, so if you ever take a trip and you're like, oh, I should mention that it costs money. But anyway, so it just took my time just driving up here and enjoying the little towns along the way, and imagining if that were to be my home. And when I got up here, where I am with my brother and his wife, I knew that this was home, and I enjoyed this town when my stepdad was here, when I was staying with him when he was in hospice. I enjoyed it. It's a small community. There's smaller communities around it too, and it just felt like home. The beach felt like home. The climate, the weather, it has always just felt so wonderful. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to be settling here. And so it's in northern Michigan, not at the UP. And I don't know if that I should divulge the town at this point, so I'm not going to. Just for safety reasons. They're, my friends, if you want to know, you can certainly private message me, but I'm not comfortable with putting that out there where anybody can find it. But anyway, it's just a small town, and the beach is right here. If I get the apartment that I really, really want, it's maybe a 10-minute walk to the beach, so it would be lovely for me. So that's what I'm up to. And as far as the podcast, I have recorded it a couple of times, but I've done it in the car thinking, that kind of gives a cool nuance because that's where my travels took place. But it just didn't feel right. It didn't sound right. It didn't feel right. And so I knew they were just practice runs. And as soon as I have a space where I can set up a proper podcast area, I will be recording it and getting it out there. So I'm excited because my idea for the podcast, well, my son's idea, he said that God came to him and told him that I would be doing a podcast. And through prayer meditation, I realized that's exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. And the podcast will be about the people I've met, because I've talked about where I've gone and some of the stories, but I haven't talked about the journey. And that's what it's going to be about. And my hope is that after I get through all my stories, that I can have guests on who we can have interviews, and they can tell me and the audience their stories of how God moved in their life and put people in front of them, or moved in his life because somebody else was put in front of them. So that's my hope and dream for that podcast, excuse me. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to get that going. I'm excited to get in my space. I do have some more cruises. I have 2 back-to-back in August, and one the end of September, beginning of October, and one in November. But I haven't committed to any more because I'm hoping to find a local job and get more, immersed in the community here and figure out, who I am here and what I want to do here and be here with others and make some friends and acquaintances and just really get involved in my community here. So anyway, just a quick video to say hello and that I think about you all very often. And as soon as I can, I'll get that podcast up and I will talk to you guys soon. I love you all. Bye.